India versus England through the years has emerged as one of the top rivalries in Test cricket. Their on-field encounters have given fans all over a lot of cricketing memories to savour. Here are top 5 knocks from India-England encounters from the decade gone by. India had a chance to seal the series in the 4th test at Wankhede as they took on England. But England's massive first innings score of 400 put India on the back foot in Mumbai. Keaton Jennings' century on debut and Josh Buttler's 76 powered England to a massive first innings total. Behind by 400, India got off to a decent start. But the trouble had just started to brew for England, who were in for a strong cup of Virat Kohli. Laden with strokes and intent, Captain Kohli took the English attack to the cleaners, hitting 25 fours and 1 6 in his 340-ball stay in the middle, notching his 3rd test double century and his then career best score of 235. Kohli's knock powered India to a massive 231-run first innings lead, one that deflated England completely. India won the test by an innings and 36 runs, sealing the 5-match series. And Captain Kohli was shoved to bits. After a defeat in Ahmedabad and an emphatic win in Mumbai, England and India reached Kolkata for what could have been a series-defining Eden test. And it was. India won the toss and put 316 runs on the board in the first innings on the back of half-centuries from Sachin Tendulkar, Gautam Gambhir and MS Dhoni. But Sir Alastair Cook combined grit with his inimitable poise to push the Indian bowling on the back foot. With 23 fours and 2 sixes, Cook notched up 190, powering England to 523 runs in the first innings, with a massive first innings lead of 207. India never recovered from the Alastair Cook show as England won the Eden Test. And then an eventual draw in Nagpur meant that England sealed their first Test series win in India after 28 years, winning the series 2-1. After an impressive showing with the bat in the first test at Nottingham, Indian batting stuttered at Lord's in 2014. Rahane walked into bat at 73 for 2, but with his end safe, wickets were falling in clusters at the other as India were reduced to 145 for 7 on the opening day of the test. One for scoring difficult runs and with a penchant for driving his side out of perilous situations, Rahane got to his job again, batting carefully and stitching a match-defining 90-run partnership with Bhuvneshwar Kumar. With Bhuvi gone, the Rahane Express changed gears, hitting Jimmy Anderson for a 6 and 4 of consecutive deliveries. He even brought about his 100 with a boundary of James Anderson. The Rahane century meant that India put 295 runs on the board in the first innings, more than double of where they were with 7 wickets down. A solid bowling performance from India backed Ajinkya Rahane's stun as Dhoni's men sealed a 95-run win, a first for an Indian side at Lord's since 1986. Having lost the first test to India by 9 wickets, England were under pressure in Mumbai, and India's first innings score of 327 only added to that pressure. With England 68 for 2 on a track that was assisting spinners, things looked bleak. But the tide was going to turn on India, and the first indication of that was the way Kevin Pietersen played his first ball. He drove Harbhajan Singh for a 4 and just didn't look back ever since. Reading the length of the spinners in a jiffy, Pietersen took the attack to the Indian spinners, sweeping them, reverse sweeping them without breaking a sweat. And in the process, KP notched a century for the ages. His 186-run knock at a healthy strike rate of almost 80 is worthy of being labelled as a masterclass in playing spin in the subcontinent. England won the Wankhede Test and went on to win the series as well, of which Captain Cook thought the turning point was Pietersen's knock in Mumbai. Virat Kohli's career doesn't really have a lot of blips, but the one ugly blip that has always stood out was his torrid tour of England in 2014. 4 years later, many runs and centuries later, with the captain's hat on his head, Kohli visited England again, more resolute and more determined than ever. England were bowled out for 287 in the first innings, but India was struggling too with the bat at 59 for 3. Virat Kohli though looked like he was batting on another pitch. Facing his nemesis from 2014, James Anderson, with caution, Kohli began to build the innings again. Once set and with partners running out at the other end, Virat Kohli upped the ante, bringing up his 22nd Test century. In a once barren land for him, Virat Kohli was now drilling water. He eventually fell one short of 150 as India fell short of England's first innings total by just 13 runs. India eventually lost a closely contested test in Edgbaston, but with his 149, Kohli would set up what would eventually be called the summer of Virat Kohli. On a land where Kohli had lost his prized confidence in 2014, he returned to regain his crown in 2018.